ownership by the people who are responsible for implementing them. I mean, it's a fantastic thing. I think organizations understand that workers, don't have unlimited time. Their time is valuable. It's what we pay for. We try to get things done. And the time to plan and think about work before we actually go touch and engage it is valuable time, and so it needs to be used valuably. When we communicate to workers that we want you to take this space and this time to think about what you're going to do, and if they're quite generous and forward thinking, they're also going to give some time following the day or following the operation to talk about the things that we learned when we went out there and did that thing. That's fantastic. Unfortunately, here's what often happens. We give the workers a tool, some sort of pre-job instrument. It's usually formed by some sort of committee. Maybe there was worker engagement. It might start off as something fantastic, just a few simple points to talk about to get everyone on the same page going forward. And then over time, it tends to become bigger. I've seen pre-job instruments that started off as like small laminated sheets that grew in excess of a dozen pages. When new compliance comes in, or there's been a mishap somewhere else, and now we know, oh, do A instead of B, the logical place in that committee mindset to put it is on the pre-job. And from there, it goes away from being a useful tool to the workers to more of a bureaucratic and compliance document. One of the best things we can do is freshen up that process. Ask the workers what on here actually keeps us safe. And they recognize that there is going to be some stuff on there that's important to the organization that might not necessarily be important to them or might be important to a regulator. They get that. But when it becomes overwhelming, then it's not as much of a tool. It sort of gets in the way. And then the bad thing that happens sometimes is it becomes weaponized. In other words, when you are signing a document, I've been on many work sites before where they go through the pre-job, they have a nice conversation, they check all of their boxes, and it's useful stuff, and then there's this solemn moment where that clipboard gets passed around and everyone has to sign it. And culturally, when you're signing something, what you're basically saying is, I attest to the fact that this is true. And what you're really signing there is your impression of the work that you're about to do. And then you go out and something bad happens, and all of a sudden you're on the hook and responsible for it. And what that does, even though we don't intend it to be the case, what that does is any good attorney will tell you, limit what you say and don't volunteer or be forthcoming with any information because you might be on the hook for it. So what we're actually doing subconsciously is suppressing the amount of information in the conversation that we get. And what we really want is to open that up broadly and get as much information as we can, have the workers sharing it among themselves.